Hello and welcome to viewing all of the 24 teams from the 2017 to 18 season. Giving them a ranking out of 10, which you voted on Instagram, so I'll give it out of 10. Hello, make sure you share the stream out to your mates. Share it out. If you want to get involved in the live, then just make sure I'm losing my voice. Make sure that you add me on Skype, which is be down in the description box down below. So if you want to get involved, then just add me on there. And yeah, make sure you join. Leave a comment, leave a like on the stream, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Hello Sam. Hello Vernus. Hello Josh. Welcome to the stream. Whoa. Let me know what you thought of Iceland versus Argentina. Decent game. Obviously, that was a big shock for everyone. My Skype is just down in the description. It will be. I think it's just Nathanholtyt at yahoo.com. I think that's what you add. You should add it on there. Messi didn't turn up. Yeah, he didn't. He was, but you know, you got to applaud the great defending from Iceland, just being able to really just shut him down. And every time he got on the ball, 5-6 players getting around him. Yeah, really, really solid from Iceland. Who, you know, you think maybe they could get out of the group now, or could give themselves a shout because who's due to call in? Well, guys, he did finish bottom, so if you want to go first, then you can if you want. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, he was a bit greedy. He was a bit unlucky as well. So if you want to call in and talk about any team, you can talk about any team if you want to. We're going to do rankings out of 10, because rankings out of 10, because that's what you guys voted. So we'll do rankings out of 10, and then you just guys leave comments. Leave comments for what you think. We'll give it like a little average, I guess, for what's going on. Got to do my little promotion first, and then we'll get straight into the rankings. I put a poll on my Instagram. What do you think Iceland versus Argentina was the biggest shock of the tournament so far? And also another discussion point. Salford are the favourites for the National League title next year, which is very interesting considering they are new to the league. Let me know what you thought of that. Let me know what you think of that. Very interesting. So yeah, don't know where that one's going to go. They do have money, but I think the way they've done it in just we tried to do that with just trying to bring in just experienced EFL players who, to be honest, we tried that, just bringing in experienced EFL players who do not know the league that well. Do not know the league that well, and do they have the desire to get back up? I don't know. Yeah, nearly finished my little promotion thing, and then we'll get straight into it. However long we go on for, how long people talk for when we get them on, and just it all depends and stuff, isn't it? Yeah, they only just won the league, to be honest, Billericay. They're a very weird situation. It'll be interesting to see how they do next season in the National League South. So yeah, here we go. Into the stream we go. Yeah, should be interesting. Let me know who you support and if you want to talk or anything. Yeah, here we go. Let's just do a little bit for the Instagram. Live on YouTube right now, 8 people in. About to do the ratings right now. Make sure you join. Link in my bio or search Nathanholtyt on YouTube. Make sure to check it out and be like some of these legends who have already commented, like Josh, Sam. Get at them, and yeah, let's go. Nearly done. You spot absolutely decent. Oi, oi. Alright, here we go. Let's start the stream. Let's go. 24th in the National League last season was Guiseley. Guiseley really did struggle and pretty poor from them. Obviously, Sam supports them. I was watching it on the BT Sport when they did their like review thing, and they showed some clips from them before the season. They looked pretty optimistic, but 33 points. There were 16 points away from safety, which is absolutely huge, and just again really disappointing. So out of 10, it's probably gonna have to be a 2. No, I'll give it a 1 because I'm afraid Guiseley really poor, and you know you got to do much better than that. And again, disappointing for them. If Sam, you want to come on and talk, if you've added me on, have you added me on Skype, Sam? Because you can talk about Guiseley. If you haven't already, then we can move on. Leave a like on the stream. The 13 people, thanks for joining. We're going to be reviewing we've just done Guiseley, which was a 1 out of 10, which is a really poor season. They were bottom of the league. Let me know your rankings for Guiseley out of 10. That's how we're going to do it, not do grades, but out of 10. Leave your rankings in the comments right now, and we'll get like an average or a bit of a gauge for each team. 2 out of 10. Leave it out of 10, and we'll get 3 out of 10. Yeah, they weren't really expected to do amazingly. So low down. Oh, fair enough. 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. That's fair enough. Definitely getting a low score from me. So 1 out of 10, pretty poor. And now we move on to Chester. We've got quite a few Tranmere fans in here. So really poor season from from Chester. They haven't been doing great the last couple of seasons, but they are now in the National League North, which they have got Jonathan Burno, but this season was really poor. They did manage to get 4 points off Ebbsfleet, which we probably could have needed. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, they were really poor. Leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. Chester, just really bad. So again, I think maybe this is even maybe worse than Guiseley, because Guiseley, they were expected to go down. I don't think... I think that Chester, I don't know. Let me know if you got any Chester fans in the chat. But Chester, maybe they're expecting mid-table, but not to get relegated. I think Guiseley were always expecting to be in that relegation mix as they've done it the last couple of seasons. So I'm going to give it another low 1, and it's going to be a 0.5 from me from Chester. They didn't finish bottom, but it was just a poor season. I feel sorry for Marcus Bignett, who actually got sacked. And it was just a real bad season. Leave your score, leave your out of 10s or your ratings down below for Chester. Mine is going to be a 0.5. Really bad season. But I wish Chester the best of luck in National League North. Actually, quite some nice fans. -10, 1. Yeah, it's a very justified opinions. 2, 3. All low scores. And then we move on to Torquay, another team that we're thinking, yeah, mid-table, maybe get a little bit higher. Hello, Max, welcome to the stream. Maybe get a little bit higher, but it's going to have to be another low rating. Any team that gets relegated, Torquay, I think, difference between them and Chester and Guiseley, Torquay had a little bit of hope. They actually showed a little bit of fight. And we're on 22nd, so we're on Torquay in the table. Will be soon onto Maidstone. Torquay, who ended the season quite well. I think when their new manager came in, they beat Ebbsfleet, and I thought they were a very decent side. So it's going to have to be a 2. Obviously, they're going to be a huge team in the end of the season was pretty decent. There was a little bit of fight there. But again, next season is going to be very tough for them. It's going to be a 2 from me. Leave your rankings. Remember to leave a like. We've already got 17 likes. That's absolutely fantastic. Thanks for that. And then we move on to the final relegation spot, which is Woking. Woking just missed out on the final day. They had the chance to do it as Barrow gave them the opportunity. As Barrow, for them, it was really poor from Barrow. Barrow, we'll get onto them later. But Woking, really disappointing. And you have to remember, they were top of the league in October and flying high. They were in the FA Cup. They were doing so well. And I was like, well, they're doing really well. We played them. We lost to them. They're a really good side. And Woking, I think, because they've just missed out, I think we have to give them a higher rating. And the fact they did so well, they've now lost Anthony Gerrard, or their manager. Can't remember his name. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Anthony Limerick, that's it. Anthony Limerick, their manager, and Woking in 21st. But again, you've got to look at the expectations to where they finished. They were probably hoping to stay up as the season before. They just stayed up. So it's going to be an okay. It's a 4 because they've just missed out. I like Woking. I like some of their fans as well. So unlucky for Woking. And then we go on to Barrow, another team in a weird sort of situation. They had Jamie Day, who used to manage Ebbsfleet and did really poorly. And then he's managing Pakistan. He was their assistant manager. And they had, I can't remember who their manager was, but Barrow, they've got a few money troubles as well. So, yeah, interesting one. Barrow, again, just managed to stay up on the final day. Luckily for them, Woking didn't win their game. So just managing to stay up, considering they were in the playoffs last year. Leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Let's try and smash 20 likes, all 19 of you. That's absolutely fantastic support. Thank you so much. We're currently on 20th in the league. We're going to continue ranking. We're going to look at all your comments and count your scores and count your rankings and give each team of you a ranking. If you want to talk about your team, add up my Skype. It's down below. And leave a like on the stream. You can talk. When I get onto get on your team and you've got Skype, then I can call you up. As of yet, we haven't got any teams that do have any representatives on Skype. So Barrow, my ranking. Again, we'll look at last season, we'll look at expectations. Expectations were probably, we're going to go again, maybe get in the playoffs. They were finished 7th, so that was a good season. Obviously, that was before, oh, you got 21 likes, decent, before all the playoffs happened. So Barrow, it's going to have to be a 4 out of 10. So we're now on to Maidstone. Ebbsfleet are huge rivals with Maidstone. Max is a Maidstone fan. And again, it was another one of those teams that did really well. They've got a 3G pitch, had a good side. We managed to beat them with our first win of the season. But they went on a really good run. Played MK Dons in the FA Cup and they were a bit unlucky against them. So, yeah, they nearly lost to Haybridge, but they did end up doing quite well. And then in sort of November time, it all started to go off a cliff, didn't it? I linked it to when they signed the deal with the EFL, even though they were near the playoffs, but it was very unlikely that they were going to actually, very unlikely they were actually going to go up. So it's going to be, again, you have to look at the expectations and what they're hoping to do. I think, hello Abby, welcome to the stream. Maidstone again, it's going to be a 5 out of 10. Considering they did have a really bad end to the season, and they did seem to do all right. Hello Mark Davison, they didn't manage to do all right. I think that deserves a 5 out of 10. Yeah, they managed to stay up. They'd done their expectation, that was to stay up. They'd done that. It was obviously disappointing how they managed to fall off a cliff. But they did manage to save themselves and stay up. So a 5 out of 10 from me. Leave your rankings for Maidstone. Max, if you're watching it, leave your comments. We'll move on to the next team. And we'll talk about that one later. And then we move on to the next team. Maidstone, 5 out of 10. Fair enough, pretty solid. National League, 5 out of 10, pretty decent. We're moving up the table. As we go up, I'll try and talk about teams a bit more. Solihull Moors, this is going to be a bit more of a positive one. Again, this is another team that were likely to go down again, but they managed to do an absolute great escape. Before Mark Yates, who came into management, he came into Solihull, which was about November time. They were really, really struggling, bottom of the league, doing really, really poorly. So before Mark Yates, it's got to be like a 2 or a 1. After Mark Yates, it's got to be an 8 out of 10. It was really, really solid, and they managed to do so well. In the new year, they done really well against us, and he was really, really good. And I expect him maybe to pick up a higher job in the National League if he can continue that next season. But you know, they've done really, really well. Solihull Moors are one of the smaller teams in the division, so to keep them up in the circumstances he did, it was really, really well. So Solihull Moors going to get an 8 out of 10 from me. I think they have done really, really well, and Mark Yates has done a fantastic job. 17th, it's Gateshead. Gateshead, another team that been in the league for quite a few years, and they've had a few troubles recently, which due to the owner, they had a failed bid, and they're going back part time again. So there could be some troubles next year, considering they were 17th. Maybe they are going to be fighting for relegation next year. So 54 points for them. We managed to beat them 5-2. But Gateshead, you know, probably be mid-table. It's probably just going to be a 5 out of 10. You know, they haven't beaten expectations. They haven't, you know, gone too far behind. So it's going to have to be a 5 out of 10 for Gateshead. Leave your Gateshead ones down below. And Gateshead did really poorly to the end of the season. So I don't think, you know, you can't. They did pretty poorly. So 5 out of 10. You know, 5. I guess on the scale, 5 is meeting the expectation. Below that is doing pretty poorly. In my opinion, mixed emotions about this year. I said, yeah, Max pretty decent. That's what I kind of said, you know. Stay up was the main goal. So, and had both of those. Obviously, it was disappointing how Mason kind of fell off a cliff after kind of the EFL agreement. So yeah, they did kind of fall off a cliff that way. So Gateshead. Maybe, I don't know. It depends. I don't think we are favourites, but I think we hopefully will get back in the playoffs. That would be great. Remember, leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. Leave a like, share it to your mates. Keep commenting as I go on to the next team. Your ranking out of 10 for them. And then move on to Halifax, Rob's team. Any football team? Kind of, maybe. Cheers, thank you. Halifax obviously promoted to the league, back into the National League. 16th in the league, 55 points. Really solid season from Halifax. Started the season pretty well. They did kind of fall off the cliff, but the new manager, I think, what's his name? The Scottish guy, Fulleron. I don't know. Jamie Fulleron. I don't know. Something like that. So I think for Halifax, it's going to be a solid 6.5 out of 10. Jamie Fullerton, yeah, done really well. Kept them up after they sacked the old manager. So yeah, Halifax, they could have easily gone down when they sacked the manager, but they managed to do a really good job and staying up. So yeah, done really, really well. Is Sunderland in the league? No, we are in the 5th tier, and Sunderland are next season in League One. They were in the Championship last season. And then 15th, Hartlepool, one of the giants in this league. Yeah, pretty solid. Came and grinded out, picked some results at the end. Yeah, they done really well at the end of the season just to keep themselves up. And then Hartlepool, again, 15th. Again, we'll look at expectation. Expectation was to help stabilise, maybe go back up. I can't remember the old manager's name, but they did a really done a really decent, recovery from where they were. So, considering the financial constraints, I can't remember the old manager, but the really dodgy haircut, he managed to bring them, to safety. So I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but Hartlepool is going to have to be probably a 4 out of 10. But a lot of the bad. No, it wasn't Craig Shakespeare's. I don't know. It was just. I just remember him having a really bad haircut, and quite a few people shouted at him when he came to Ipswich with that haircut. Didn't we beat Halifax 9-0? No, we didn't beat Halifax 9-0. So yeah, Halifax. Leave your comments. I think we've got probably got everyone. Craig Harrison. That was it. Craig Harrison. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 4 out of 10. Disappointed from them. Probably should have done a little bit better. But they're now stabilised. They've got a new owner. They haven't got too many financial issues. I don't know yet. And next season they'll be hoping to probably do a little bit better. Just our serious Craig Harrison. Good bit of work there. So yeah, Hartlepool 5 out of 10. Pretty solid season. No, we did not beat we didn't beat anyone 9-0. We didn't think we beat anyone more than like 4-0. We beat Guiseley 4-0. Then 14th, Eastleigh. Another disappointing season for Eastleigh. Considering the money they actually have one of the highest wages in the league. So Eastleigh, I don't think it's a good season from them. Underperformed. They did have a manager get sacked, and Hessenthaler came in. I don't think Eastleigh have done too great. They have a big budget. They do. We beat Bishop Stortford. That was it. Bishop Stortford beat 9-0. Beat Halifax like 2-0. So Eastleigh, they have some big wages. They have a big budget. And taking that all in consideration, it's going to have to be a 3.5 out of 10. Yeah, he did okay to bring them to where they are, but you have to look at it in the whole season and just think, not too great from Eastleigh. 14th, not too great. Next season, obviously, they lost their owner, but they've still got some money coming through the door. Really underperformed. Yeah, considering the budget, they do have a really big budget. They have that's why we have to give Ipswich more credit. I'm not trying to get Ipswich, but I think we have maybe have a smaller budget or lower budget than Eastleigh, and we're doing a better job. So that's what's going on. We now move on to another big giant or big team in the National League, of course, is Leyton Orient, who are currently 13th. Who finished 13th in the league with 60 points. And again, it started really weird. Steve Davis, I feel sorry for him. Considering how tough a job he had. They didn't have any players and he got sacked, but to get Justin Edinburgh through the door was huge. He's a big name for this league, to be fair, and they got a good manager in now, and they're hoping to maybe get playoffs next season or maybe go up. We've obviously snuck Ebu Adams off him, which the Orient fans didn't like. But Leyton Orient, solid season from them, 60 points, mid-table, considering they were lingering around that relegation zone, early January, early December. It's going to be a 6 out of 10. Solid season from Leyton Orient. 13th through the league. So we're halfway through the league now. We'll do another bit of promotion. We could talk about Prem teams if you want. Maybe after we've done our gone through each of the teams. So next up, we just gotta do it. Na, 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 na. I've added you on Skype. All right. Let me see who's on Skype. If anyone wants to call up, Michael. Don't know if we're going to be talking about Liverpool. Joe Egerington. Can we talk about League Two? Maybe if we just get time to talk about. If we still got people in here, we'll talk about what we want really. Yeah, we'll try. I've seen it. Right. Next up in the National League, we move up to who have we got? How are we? What are we looking like? Right, we're 12th. Maidenhead. Maidenhead, really, really good season from Maidenhead. Can we talk about Tranmere? We're just going up the league, so we're kind of on our way to going up to talk about Tranmere, and then we'll have quite a few callers talking about Tranmere. And I have something a bit controversial to say about Tranmere, so stay tuned for that. So then Maidenhead 12th, really good season. I think, they came up with us. They managed to beat us to the title, considering they have much less resources. I don't really like their manager, but he's done a really, really good job. A fantastic job, in fact. And I think you have to give him a solid. Considering I gave Halifax a 6.5 out of 10, I've got to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Decent, really good side. It's going to be interesting to see how will they do next season. Second season in the league. They've managed to bring in some decent players so far. Obviously not on the greatest budget in the league, so it'll be interesting to see how they do next season. And then 11th, Dagenham Redbridge again. This is another team that would hope to get playoffs, but didn't get it. But a lot of that was to do with the money troubles around the club. This was a team that lost their owner, and it's got to be, obviously that can't affect I don't know if we can affect the rating, but disappointing season. They have got some good two managers in now, but they're still losing players because they aren't being able to pay decent wages to attract good players for the league. So Dagenham Redbridge 11th, not too great, 4 out of 10. But you have to take in consideration that the lot of players left, like we signed Corey Whiteley. A lot of their players are probably going to be turned by other National League clubs who are probably going to be able to pay more than them. They should probably get playoffs. Actually, non-league YT actually tipped them to win the league. So to finish 11th, cheers. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Share it out to your mates. Leave a comment. I started pretty well, but I don't think we can give them a 7 out of 10. Maybe a 4 out of 10. I don't think so, because I remember I saw it on a video. If you uninstall it, I think it just stays. Yeah, it stays. I think it just stays to your account. It will be linked to your Xbox account. Wrexham in 10th. This is another one that was affected by a manager leaving. Yeah, I still play cricket. I haven't been able to play because I'm a little bit ill. So I was about 2 hours ago. I had a massive, I had a massive headache. I was just like sick. So Wrexham, yeah, again disappointing season for them. They've been in the league for a long, long time, and considering the size of the club, they're getting 5k people to a match, especially. What have I even gone about? Especially as they lost Dean Keats, and the new man that came in was absolutely awful. When they played against us, they were shocking. They were really bad, and to lose 3-0 to the size of what they were in League One a couple when they were 20, 30 years ago. We've never been in the Football League, so if you're finishing third for Wrexham, 10th, they should be in the playoffs every season if they're in the league. So Wrexham's going to be a 4 out of 10. Again, not missing that expectations, but obviously a lot of that was to do with Dean Keats leaving, and after that happened, it just seemed to fall off a cliff, and they couldn't get any points, and defensively they were a shambles. They've obviously got their new manager in there, but if you compare, Ben, you can say they were 4 points behind Wrexham, but we were rising up into the playoffs, and you know, a few points means a lot, to be honest. And considering if you compare the size of the clubs, we were new to the league, and obviously you've been experienced in the league for a long while. So ninth in the league, we now go on to Bromley. Again, really good season, but you've got to think, you know, if they won the FA Trophy, it would have been a lot better. Really good season from them. Really solid season. Obviously, getting to Wembley was an incredible day for the club. I don't think they've done that before. Don't quote me on that. I don't think they've done that before. So Bromley in ninth, really solid season. Probably a little bit disappointed they didn't get in the playoffs and go to Wembley. So it's going to be a 7 out of 10. It probably would have been an 8 or an 8.5 if they did go and win the FA Trophy, because, you know, that's such an incredible day, and they probably should have. But who did they play against? Brackley were really good on that day. I watched the game, and Brackley did really well. And then 8th, Dover Athletic. Not a big fan of Dover as an FC fan myself. Another solid season. Solid season from them. But you have to think, the start of the season, lost a lot of their good players. Ricky Miller had to rebuild the whole squad. So Kinnear did a really good job to get that squad up it again and back up the leagues again. And to get them to where they were is a really good achievement. Again, would have been probably boost up a number or a 1.5 if they did get in the playoffs. They just missed out on the final day because they had a few slip-ups. So yeah, Dover is going to be a solid 7 out of 10 from me. Really good season from them to get themselves near those playoffs again. So 7 out of 10 from Dover. I think that's a justifiable position number for them. And then 7th, Fylde, another new team to the league, same as Ebbsfleet, who had a decent amount of money. We're now moving into the playoffs. So if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream, share it to your mates. Actually, while we wait, 9 out of 10. Good season from them. Let me just do a bit more promotion. Let's get a few more people in the stream as we now go into the rankings for the playoffs. Part-time, really good team. Let's just get a bit of ranking. Guys, let's promote it. Get you guys. We're live on Instagram. Don't join the Instagram one. If you're in the YouTube one, just stay in here. Just promote it before we go into the rankings for the playoffs. You done Orient yet? I gave you, I think, obviously considering where you were, a solid, I think like a 5 out of 10. So yeah, join the stream. We've got 17 people viewing. We've got 25 likes. We're now ranking the teams in the playoffs. So get yourself off Instagram, come onto YouTube, search Nathan Holt on YouTube to find it, or search Nathan Holt on YouTube. Get yourself off Instagram. What are you doing? I know you forgot that I'm live. So get yourself off Instagram. Get yourself on here. Join the stream like some of these legends, like Elf Vlogs. Some of these guys, will just give them a few shout outs. You're all on getting a few shout outs. We're going to be ranking. We're now ranking into the playoffs. So get yourself off Instagram and get yourself on here. We've already got 18 viewers. And yeah, adios. Yeah, cheers. 20 people in the stream. Leave a like on it if you're new. Let's try and get to 30 likes. That'd be amazing. And we now move into the teams in the playoffs. The playoffs were incredible. I really like the new system. Obviously, as an Ebbsfleet fan myself, looking into the season, if it was 4th, 5th, we would not be in the playoffs. And we've done really well. So yeah, to finish in the playoffs for us was amazing. But we now go into 7th, who were Fylde. Another new team to the division, who done really well. Leave a like on the stream. Let's try and get 30 likes. I know a couple of you have come over from Instagram, so leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. Let's try and get to 30 likes. And leave a comment for who you support. Who you support. We've got who you support and who you'll be talking about. National League. Let's get on the National League. When's the Ebbsfleet? I think it's early July. So 7th in the league was Fylde. New to the division, they managed to get in the playoffs after a 0-0 draw against Wrexham on the final day. a really, really good show. And considering they didn't have a great start to the season, they managed to smash some teams. They managed to smash Aldershot, Tranmere. They done really, really, really well. I'm wearing the Ebbsfleet away kit from last season. And they've done really, really well to get promoted from the National League North to go straight up and do as well as they did. And considering the start they actually had a really bad start. They had a really bad start as well, and they managed to turn it around. They had a kind of similar start to Ebbsfleet, and then started smashing Aldershot in January, smashed Tranmere. I think the performances against the smaller teams didn't help them, but overall, what a season for them. And I think it's going to be an 8.5 out of 10 for Fylde, and that's 7th position. And it's 6th position now, and the team you've all been waiting for. Let me do this zoom thing. It's the mighty Ebbsfleet United. Let's zoom out again. Sorry about that. I wanted to just, make it a bit more dramatic. So Ebbsfleet United, 6th in the league. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. 6th in the league, new to the division. People often forget that. 6th in the league. And I did a poll in March time when we drew to Orient saying, could we get into the playoffs? And it was 70% no. And usually on Instagram you have highly optimistic 70% no. And you look at that now, it shows that people weren't back in Ebbsfleet. We managed to do an incredible run, beating Macclesfield, beating Dover late on, which actually got us in the playoffs, and beating Gateshead 5-2. It was an incredible season, and it was a really great one, a really optimistic one. And I think if we can get a few more signings we haven't been able to get yet, hopefully Darren McMahon next week. I think he's delayed our transfers because he knew he wanted to wait till the return so I can react to them properly. So yeah, Ebbsfleet 6th in the league. I expect my prediction at the start of the season. I remember I typed it down somewhere. 7th. I think I said 7th. That was a hope. That wasn't. I think I'd hoped that we'd stay up and like 14, 17th, 18th, and just be solid and not have to worry too much about relegation and not have to play in Vanarama National League South again. And considering we did manage to beat Aldershot get to the semi-finals and then take Tranmere to the semi-finals of the playoffs, and we're a new team to the division. Feel free to disagree with me, but I'm going to give them Ebbsfleet a 9 out of 10. We weren't unexpected, and the unexpected expectation from the fans were to stay up and to get mid-table. So to get playoffs was incredible. So I'm going to go 9 out of 10. Let me know your rankings for that. I know that may be a little bit higher. I may be biased, but it is just something I'll do. I gave Fylde 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, because 9 out of 10, I think that's deserved, because I'm basing these rankings on expectation. I don't know, 9 out of 10, maybe it's a bit too high. Let me know your rankings. It needs to be cool. If Chester, if you're calling, I'm not going to say anything, but if you look at that normally, Chester got relegated and we finish 5th. And obviously, I think maybe that's a bit of more of a biased comment there. I don't know. But maybe I've given us a bit higher ranking. Maybe probably should have got a 7 or an 8, considering we may have higher budgets. Higher budgets than what people may say. I don't think we have the highest budget in the league. We don't have this highest budget that people may say. People think we have some massive budget, and we don't really. I'll talk about it. Ebu Adams, who signed for us, he said he didn't sign for Ebbsfleet for the money. He actually was offered higher at Leyton Orient than Ebbsfleet. So I don't know. Maybe cheers, Gorilla. That means a lot. Yeah, I think I don't know. It's a weird one with Adams. He was actually offered high at Leyton Orient, but came to Ebbsfleet. So maybe there was something he didn't like behind the scenes at Leyton Orient. So yeah, we're not paying huge amount of wages or whatever. So, and you have to. I'll say this again. I remember when I was remembering doing this video. To justify a 9 out of 10, we had Danny Kedwell up top, who is 34 years of age. He'll be 35 next season, and he was probably our only striker in January. Yeah, it's close to home and stuff like that. But maybe there was something. Maybe there's Orient still really easy to get to on the train. I don't know. Complicated situation. But we had Danny Kedwell for like up top, 35 years of age, hitting some goals in. So yeah, I think we deserve that 9 out of 10. Maybe it should be lower, but new season to the league. Yeah, decent. More like a 0. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe not a 6 out of 10. Robert, do you run the National League Bible page? Maybe I think you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. And then 5th, in the league, we now 18 people in the stream. Make sure all 18 of you have liked it. Hit that like button. We're now moving into 5th. Aldershot. Aldershot Town. Aldershot Town. I need to have a bit of water. Aldershot Town. Robert, do you actually run it? Do you run it? Aldershot. Interesting one from Aldershot. They've done alright. You know, a team. They probably they should be in the playoffs, and they got in the playoffs. They got 5th. They were a stage where they were thinking about the title, or higher up the 2nd or 3rd spots. They didn't get those 2nd or 3rd spots because they did lose to Sutton. But they don't have the largest budget, so taking that into consideration. Wrexham, no, not Wrexham, Aldershot are going to get a 6 out of 10. They obviously, if they got to the semi-final because they didn't beat us, it was obviously a disappointing way for them to, go out for them. So yeah, for me, come on, you Reds, talk on Nathan's stream. Hello, Dan, I'll get you on to talk about Tranmere in a minute if you want. So 5th, 6 out of 10 for Aldershot. Do you agree with that? Thank you to 19 people in the stream, and we're 42 minutes in. That's absolutely fantastic. I was a little bit reluctant to this because we didn't get as much viewership last time. So thank you, Gorilla. Are you talking about Tranmere? Because I haven't as soon as Tranmere come on, I'll try and get you guys on if you can. He Sports, Leyton Orient. Oh yeah, I'll get you on. I'll get you on because we've got 2 teams left. We've got Borehamwood, Nami, Nami Army. So yeah, 4 teams left. Thank you, 20 people. Could be up to that 30 mark. Might that be amazing? Borehamwood, 4th in the league. 4th in the league. Again, really good season. They got to the playoff final. They had a great chance to do it, but they just missed out. Unfortunate for Borehamwood. And they've only got an attendance of 600, and 600 is pretty poor for the league. But it did go up from like 30%. Borehamwood did really well. They managed to smash us 3-0. And I was really impressed with them. They actually scored a banging goal for their first one. And yeah, really good side. They managed to beat Sutton and beat Fylde, which are 2 good teams. And they've done really, really well. They'll obviously be disappointed that they didn't maybe go up because they had a great opportunity to do it and they just missed out. Maybe it just wasn't their day on that day. It's pretty poor support. So yeah, it's going to have to be, I have to give them better than Ebbsfleet. So if I gave Ebbsfleet a 9, I've got to give them at least a 9.25 because yeah, they've done pretty well. They obviously get a lot of their money through Arsenal and they finished like lower down last season. So 9.5 for Bournemouth. I think that is pretty much justified. Decent season from the Wood. And now third. Third in the division is Sutton United. And yeah, really good season for Sutton. Obviously, they had their amazing cup run last season, and they managed to just stay up as well. So to go from that to now being third in the league, my Bromley one was 7 out of 10, so I gave them a 7 out of 10. I gave Bromley a 7 out of 10 for that. So Bromley is 7 out of 10. That was my ranking. But for Sutton now, third in the division. Really good season from them. Obviously, last season, relegation, possibly could have got relegated and done really well. They managed to take that FA Cup money and use it very wisely. They did have a chance of winning the league, and they didn't really take it. Not take it, I just think there was always that thing lingering in their mind that if they do go up, they're going to have to rip the pitch up, which is something they're going to have to continually fight against, and it's an ongoing topic. I've already done a video on it if you want to check that out. But it was a disappointing end for them, but I think you have to look at the season and think, good season. It's going to be a 9 out of 10. It would have been like 9.5 if they managed to get to the final ever. But really good season for them. Managed to beat us as well. Really good season from Sutton. Obviously, yeah, good season. Couple points off the top. Now we move on to Tranmere. Tranmere Rovers, and a lot of you guys in here support Tranmere. But I might not give you guys a higher rating as you probably expect. You know, Tranmere were expected to win the league. They're expected to win the league. Hear me out. Tranmere were expected to win the league. They were expected. A lot of people were backing them to win the league. They're expected to win the league. And they didn't manage to. They were a pretty slow start. They did manage to get a really good run together. And then put a nice, good team together and get themselves over the line. So out of 10, it is going to be. I know they went up, but considering how big the club is, what sort of budget they've got, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I know I gave Ebbsfleet a 9 out of 10, but I like to think about the expectation of the team and what the aims were. And then I think probably. And they showed great spirit at Wembley to win the game. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Let me know your ratings for Tranmere. I think we've got a few callers, a couple callers for Tranmere, so we get their rankings. I'm sure they're obviously buzzing that they're now in Gorilla. Is Gorilla on? They're now in the Football League, and it'll be interesting to see where they do end up. Wrexham, bit of banter going on. Whee. You do make me laugh. You call me delusional. Bit of Wrexham and Chester and Tranmere banter going on. Oh, hello, hello. Tranmere fan trying to pick up. Hello? 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 You alright?
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. Let me just turn up a little bit. What would you rank Tranmere's season?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
I'd probably give them an 8, to be honest, because we've had decent season, you know. Obviously we had a great start when we signed Josh Gianelli.
Yeah.
Obviously he was a decent attacker.
Yeah.
But we had a decent start, and then kind of slipped midway, and then but we done decent, to be honest.
Did you go to Wembley?
Yes, I did. I went to Wembley. It was
Decent.
great. but I reckon we deserved it because we did come second
last season.
I reckon there was like some places we could have just done a lot better in the games.
But yeah, you've done what you needed to get up. It doesn't. You're not gonna. You've had an amazing day at Wembley now, over maybe winning the league. So, I'll be interested to see. Where do you think you're going to finish? Where do you think you're going to finish next season?
I'd probably go 13th because we're newcomers, obviously.
Yeah.
We're gonna need new players to gel in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great though. Can't wait. Obviously the stadium's gonna get more full up, better atmosphere at Prem Park and that now, so it's gonna be great.
What do you think about losing Andy Cook as well? And Mickey Mellon may potentially go as well.
Yeah, I'm gutted about Andy. He's had a great season. He probably won. He did win us that game at Wembley, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored a crucial goal.
Him as well after the game, and I was like, "You bet." I was telling him to stay, and he was like, "Yeah, I will." And then, and I reckon it's great that we've drawn Walsall in the Carabao Cup because obviously it's going to be great meeting Ginelli and Cook again. So I reckon it's great, yeah.
All right, cheers for coming on. Good luck for Tranmere next season. See ya.
Alright, fuck up.
I think we have another Tranmere fan on the line. A couple more. We'll have a little talk about it. Got a Tranmere fan. Another one. Hello? He was about to. I don't know if I ended it. I thought he might have said it, but I don't think he did. Hello?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, yeah.
What's your ranking for Tranmere season?
I think to me it's a 9 out of 10. Like the start didn't really be too good. Some of our players got slack a bit. But then in the middle of the season, like when Big Steve started to like get up a bit, basically Big Steve saved us and Sutton because they're like very solid at the back.
Yeah. What
But when we lost Andy Cook, I think that was not too good for us. As soon as Eddie went, I think we will go down. Well, my prediction for League 2 probably is 11, because as she said, we are newcomers.
Yeah. What's your? Yeah. What have you got? Did you go to Wembley?
No, I haven't.
Alright, cheers for coming on, mate. Ta-da. I think we've got one more Tranmere one. Don't know if we'll pick up though. Boom, boom, boom. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. Nearly on to Macclesfield. One more Tranmere one. Obviously, they're all very, very happy with going up to the Premier League. But while we wait, while going on to the next caller, hello?
Hello? Hello?
Can you turn the stream off in the background? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So next one is Dan, another Tranmere fan. So we've got 3 Tranmere fans. We've got a lot of Skype representatives Tranmere. What are you ranking Tranmere season out of 10, which is 10 in Spanish?
I think I've got to go 9.2.
Pacific, I like it.
9.2. We had like you said before, now we had to win the league. We were the favourites to win the league, but we still got up to playoffs, which matches it matches our objectives of going up, obviously. But we just messed up with a couple of results. I mean, that Macclesfield game played a crucial part in not winning the league, and it was just frustrating. But we got the job done at Wembley, which is all that matters. You know, we're up now, we're back where we belong. So let's just hope we can stay there, really, and just not come back down again.
What's your prediction for next season?
No, I I was thinking when it first came out, I was like, oh, we're going to scrape relegation. But when I think more about it now, I mean, I think we're going to finish mid-table. It's our first season back up.
To be fair, a lot of the teams that do go up from
a
the National League tend to do well. Like Forest Green didn't do very well, but Lincoln have done very well. And so some teams actually do go back up again, because I don't think the gap between the League Two and National League is that huge, especially the teams at the top. So yeah, I think you can do alright. I think mid-table. I think the problem for you guys, if you're going to need to bring in a couple more good EFL players. Obviously, losing Andy Cook was a big blow. Have you found a striker to replace him yet?
To replace Cook?
Yeah.
No, we've brought in Ollie Banks on a 2-year, and we've re-signed Lionel Cole as well.
Decent.
So
you lost. There was another. You lost someone to Fleetwood, wasn't it, as well? Some youngster.
It was Eddie Clark left, and we also signed a new centre back as well, called Ellis. So he looks decent. He's to experience. So.
Dan's doing another season review with He's gonna have his own opinions about other teams and other like higher teams up as well. So he'll leave a comment and you can click on his channel if you want to check out and subscribe. Cheers, coming on, Dan. Good luck next season. Cheers.
Nice one.
Boom. So we have now done second, and now we go to the top of the National League. Who is that? We all know who it was. It was Macclesfield Town. What an incredible season from Macclesfield. They did really, really, really well. They had to rebuild their side from pretty much scratch. And John Askey, incredible job for what he's done at Macclesfield to get him to the Football League. It's now they've got a huge task to now stay there after they did lose John Askey. We'll get on to that later. But the ranking, Macclesfield, really, really good. I think when we played them, they were really professional. Probably would have beaten us if they didn't have the really, really dodgy red card, which I didn't know at the time. But yeah, they're done really, really well. And Macclesfield, considering the budgets, it was probably they were relegation favourites. They could have potentially gone down. Not a big team financially, so it's a great underdog story for them. And the only thing you could have said was every time you were expecting them to slip up, they found late goals. They found great scenes. They're a really good side. They had really good support as well. And I wish them really good luck in the EFL. They've done really, really well to get out of it. And I think they will stay up. If they can keep getting a half-decent manager, if they can get a decent manager in, then I think they should, hopefully, they can do all right. So Macclesfield, my rating out of 10 for Macclesfield is a 10. It's going to be a 10. Macclesfield, well overachieved. You can't, if there's going to be one team in the league that get a 10, it was going to be Macclesfield. They won the league. They done it rather convincingly as well. They had a couple of games to get the job done. It's got to be a 10 out of 10 for me. They managed to keep themselves clear at the end. They had a very small budget. They had no play. They had 3 players signed on at the end of the start of last season. A really, really, really good job. So I'm going to have to give it a 10. Really, really well done. And yeah, they've got a real job. Solihull Moore's got a 7 or an 8. So yeah, Solihull got -10. Yeah, so it's got to be a 10 from me. Next season, they've got a real challenge. Is it? They have a new manager yet? They don't have a manager yet. They need to get that done and sorted. If it's not done yet, let me search up if Macclesfield have a new manager, because the Maidstone manager was linked at one point, who is probably not too experienced for the league, and the way they lost John Askey as well. Steve Davis, I think he was in the running. I don't know if he's still now. So I'll just check it up and I'll get the if it is still going on. I'm honest. New manager odds. Let's get the odds for the new manager. Macclesfield Town close to naming new manager Gomez. So obviously they did lose. John Astley to Shrewsbury. He wanted to stay apparently. He wanted to stay. So the leader is Joaquin Gomez. Don't know who that is. Joaquin Gomez. He's not managing a team at the moment. And then Jay Saunders of Maidstone. Then Mark Yates, we spoke about him earlier. The incredible job he done at Solihull Moors. Then Keith Curl, he's been linked at Carlisle. Steve Davis is still in the running. We've also got Paul Scholes at 25 to 1. I think he just gets linked to any EFL job. Jamie Fullerton, another National League manager. Luke Gerrard, Bournemouth, he looks like he'll stay. Stuart McCall, Robbie Nielsen, Russell Slade, David Hopkin, John Whitney, Justin Floyd, Dean Saunders, obviously Welsh, he always comes on the Sol Campbell as well, maybe. And then, but he looks like it could be that job, he could be getting that job. Joaquin Gomez. Joaquin Gomez. Let me search up who Joaquin Gomez is. Joaquin. How do I spell it? Joaquin. How do you spell it? Joaquin Gomez. Russell Slade, Orient legend. Joaquin Gomez. Manager. I don't know who he is. I have no clue. So he left, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to a few Orient Macclesfield fans who said he left because he wasn't actually given a budget, considering how well he done as well. He's a youngster, a young manager at Luton. So, you know, not really, not great, not a lot of experience, but a young manager. That's a risky move if they do appoint him. There were links they could have got Danny Whitaker as well. So it's the first team coach, not actually. He's a coach, so he's not actually the manager, so not much manager experience. So yeah, interesting one. Give you a score update. Before we go, I'll do a bit of the Dream Team update for the league and give you a bit of thoughts on the World Cup games for today. Liverpool season, I think it was really, really good. Obviously, fourth in the league and getting to the Champions League final, you can't really beat that. Probably would have hoped for better in the cup domestic competitions. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. If they won the Champions League, it probably would have been a 10 because, you know, that's how big that competition is. And then the other World Cup competition, when you were 3, you were a proper hooligan. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what are your opinions on Salford. I don't like the fact that a lot of the fans who are just sort of Man United and Man City fans have just jumped on the bandwagon. People may say Ebbsfleet have a lot of money, but I don't think people are just jumping on the bandwagon. We've had loyal supporters who've been here through thick and thin, and they've just sort of jumped on the bandwagon. I've seen it in the banner page on Facebook. Kind of these Salford fans that don't really know anything about, know very little about non-league football, and immediately think, "Oh, new league, we're gonna smash it." So maybe they could get a bit of a fall into. I think maybe that could happen. I think the signings they've made, Nathan Pond, 35, 30, I don't know how old he is. He's quite old. And I think they've just gone the EFL kind of older player. Oh, he's playing the EFL. He's got good reputation. It looks good on paper. Yeah, fair enough. It looks good on paper, but I don't know. I'll be talking about it in my transfer roundup video, which I'm going to be doing hopefully next week. I'm going to go through all of the how many teams we've got? We've got 24 teams, and I've got the National League Bar to help me out. The National League Bar to help me out. I haven't sold Kabamba, so I'm going to go through all of the transfers for each team and kind of rank them as well, and talk about all the maybe a couple of the rumours. and just talk about the transfers and get you guys to to know about them, and just talk about the transfers really, and get all the transfers for you guys. And then before we end the stream, I thought let's talk about the three World Cup games that have happened today. France versus Australia. Really, this is another one of these VAR weird decisions. I think it's a weird one. Let me know if you've watched the game. Do you think it was a penalty? I think he's clipped him. I don't personally think it is a penalty. He's made the most of it. But Griezmann is in my dream team, so I have to take that. My dream team's doing absolutely awful at the moment. And currently Peru-Denmark is 0-0. Peru tipped to be sort of the outsiders maybe to get out of that group and maybe do a little bit of a run. And then Australia, I was watching that game and really wanted them to maybe pull off something magical. You went down. Oh. Who's going to win the World Cup? I said Brazil, and at the end of the tournament, I'm going to react to my predictions as well. And then the other game, Argentina, Iceland. Iceland, they're just absolute powerhouse, aren't they? They're just absolutely brilliant, aren't they? They're not great to watch. I don't particularly want to watch the game, but they just pull off some shocks. And if you look at the other two teams in their group, they've got Croatia and Nigeria. I think maybe Nigeria and Croatia, they're both attacking teams. If they had another defensive team in there, I think it's going to take a manager just to say, all right, if you're going to park the bus, let's park the bus on you. Let's just do it that way, because Iceland could, if that's the way they do it, they park the bus and counter and use those long balls. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I don't think I'll be able to come into the stream. I'll send you a message on Instagram. And before I go, I'll do the Sun Dream Team update. Leave your predictions for next season. I'm going to be doing. Thank you for supporting the stream, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. We had like 15, 20 people, which is much better than what I had yesterday. So thank you for that. Thanks to everyone that was here yesterday and the people that have come today. I've been enjoying reading the interesting banter between Tranmere, Chester, and Wrexham fans. It's been interesting to watch. Before we go, I'll give you the Dream Team update, if it's going to let me. Oh, alright, here we go. I'm currently joint 85th in the league, which is great. Top of the league is Mighty Omara with 81 points. He's done okay. He's had Jimenez and things going for him. Yeah, so I'm not doing too great. It's been pretty hard. All the big scorers, apart from Ronaldo, haven't done well yet. So hopefully Neymar's going to need to do a job for me, or I'm pretty screwed. And considering I'm on 13 points and Mighty Omara is away on 81, so I'm doing pretty poorly. I'm going to do like daily update on my Instagram for the Dream Team and telling you what is going on and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for your support on the stream. The time to like. If you haven't already liked it, please do leave a like. It's been amazing. Thanks to I'll give a few shouts before we go. Rio, Dan, thank you for coming on. Grays, CJ, Rio again, Robert, you've been on it and leaving a load of comments. Orient Loyal, Josh was on here. Yeah, thanks to everyone for watching the stream. Cheers to everyone. If you disagree with my ratings, I'll see you later. Leave a like on the stream if you haven't enjoyed it. And I'll see you all later. Subscribe, leave a like. Adios, amigos. Enjoy the World Cup. See you later.